Welcome to the Battlefield Walker channel. Growing up in Central Virginia has been both a blessing and a curse. The blessing, of course, because there's just so much history in Central Virginia. The curse is that relic hunters have been so successful and the relics have been so prolific in this part of the country. But you also know that some of the great relic hunters of the past have most likely walked over your territory long before you ever got there. So we're going to try a new permission today. I'm glad you've chosen to join me. I'm the Battlefield Walker. Let's see if we can find some of the things that the soldiers left behind. On my new permission, and I've already dug a whole bunch of aluminum, but this signal sounds a little different, so let's see what it is. Here's something. Looks like a shotgun shell. Nope, too big to be a shotgun shell. Garden hose end. A lot of aluminum on this farm, but this signal sounds a little different. Got my hopes up that it's not aluminum. Could that be our first Civil War evidence? I believe it is. I believe it is. All right. And I believe that's a Gardner, which of course is Confederate. I haven't found anything here Civil War, so that's big for me right now. 10 feet away from where I found that Confederate Gardner bullet. Try not to get too excited because there has been a lot of trash in this field. It's either, yeah, I think that's a modern bullet. This sounds like a bullet. I've only found one today, but this sounds like one. Doggone it. Not deep. Modern bullet. That's a big one, about a 45. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if this is not another modern bullet. Right there. I believe that's either a modern bullet or a Civil War bullet. What do you think? It's got the right patina. Ha ha ha. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's an Enfield, another Confederate bullet. We've got 2 bullets today and both of them Confederate. You see the ramrod marks on that bullet. See that circle around the top where the ramrod pounded it home. Yeah, that's cool. All right, good. We've got potential. I'm digging a lot of signals that I might not normally dig just because I'm so unfamiliar with this property. And I'm digging some modern bullets. These big 45s I'm finding are impossible to tell the difference between that and a Civil War bullet. Yeah, it's a shotgun primer. This one's got a little more depth. It's not right on the surface, so let's see if we can hear it with a pinpointer. All right, there it is. We're getting close, but we're not on it yet. You know, when you've hunted a place over and over again, and you're going back and you're finding less and less, it seems like it can give you a little bit of a boost to come to a new spot like I've done today. I see white. Do you see white? Oh, that ain't no modern bullet, folks. Look at that. I'm pretty sure that's a Civil War bullet. And I know that's just a Yankee 3-ring bullet. But to me, it's just such an awesome history of the epic struggle that took place here in Central Virginia 160 years ago. All right, enough talking. Let's pop it out of there. That makes 3 bullets, so we're getting there. I'm getting a high 90s signal here. Another modern bullet. I've only found 3 Civil War bullets today for 40 pieces of aluminum and modern bullets, but this one sounds good. This land is more woods than it is field, but it's got cover crop in it right now. So that's what I'm doing. I kind of feel like you hunt the spots that you only have limited permission in when you can get into them. But I'm right on it now. I don't know. I'm hitting something and I don't see white. So that's brass. I'm pretty yeah, that's brass. So either a shotgun shell or something really nice. Oh, wait a minute, maybe a coin. Yep, just a Jefferson nickel. Got me excited for a minute there. Maybe a quarter of a mile from here, maybe not even that far, there was a camp. And it was a Confederate camp, according to local legend. I'm not real excited about this target, but I'll dig signals that I'm definitely not sure about, just because I want to learn and say, oh, okay, well, I was right. I shouldn't have dug that. And that's what I did here. I dug a signal that I wasn't excited about, and there it is. A little 22 casing. I like the sound of this one. Yeah, I like this signal. I can hear it, but we got a ways to go. All right, I moved the camera a little so you could see, because I think we're getting close now. And I'm liking the sound of this. Look at that. All right. This is number 4. Another dropped 3-ringer. So, yeah, this place has got potential. No doubt about that. Just a few steps away from that 3-ringer I just found. Another modern bullet. We're now at the plow line. That looks like a piece of random camp lead, so that's a good sign too. Lunch was good. Roast beef, barbecue potato chips, and a banana. And I'm back at it. That's just the jacket off of a modern bullet. All right, got a little signal here. Oh, all right. A finial off of a cartridge box or a percussion cap box. That's always a good sound. Wind is really picking up. Okay, first hole after lunch second hole after lunch. First hole was the cap box finial. Second hole after lunch. Sounds pretty good. Wind's still picking up. Yeah, that's aluminum. Doggone it. That fooled me. Aluminum paper like out of a Pringles can or a cigarette pack. That's not what we're looking for. Wait a minute. Son of a gun, look at that. We're not doing too bad out here today. That's a bayonet scabbard tip. Huh? So we got a cartridge box finial. We got a bayonet scabbard tip. Man, I just cannot stress enough how important it is to keep your ears open and listen to people. You never know what you might hear. You need to pay attention. A young man pulled his truck up and asked me if I'd found anything. While we were talking, he said, you know, if you go up in the edge of those woods up there, there's trenches back there. You don't say. I'm gonna take a look. Sometimes people can confuse an old road or even a drainage ditch with trenches, but I'm gonna go trench hunting right now. I'm gonna see if I can find some Civil War trenches. I'm gonna park the truck. I'm gonna pull up into here and just take a little walk. See what I can see. Well, I'll be doggone if this isn't a good sign. I just got out of my truck to go look for the trench, and I dug that little shallow hole right there and came up with a fired Confederate Gardner. That's a good sign. All right, I walked back to the truck to throw that Gardner in the back of the truck right there, and I got a signal here that sounds pretty good. Is that another bullet? Daggone it, look at that. What is that one? That's a 3-ringer, and it's fired. How about that? See what I'm talking about? I just listened to a young boy who said, go to the other end of the field. Hello, Betty. All right, I'm about 100% sure this is iron, since all of a sudden I'm starting to find stuff. Now I want to dig iron signals. No, sir. Whoa, yes it is. It was so big I thought it was a shell fragment, but that's a great big old nut. Yeah, that sounds like a bullet for sure. There it is. There's another 3-ring bullet fired. Hot dog. This one sounds righteous too. I'm still in the same small area where I started finding bullets. Oh, I feel it. And I think I see it. Look at that. See that little white right there at the end of my finger? Boom, baby. Now, what do we got here? Another fired 3-ringer? No, that's a Gardner. That's a Gardner. That's a Confederate bullet. So, and fired. Oh, yeah. This is making me think I may have found a spot that hadn't been hunted. Maybe, like me, nobody knew there was a skirmish here. But I'm finding bullets just every few steps. My digging buddy Mud Duck likes to say every bullet represents a smile. But I'll say this. It's not just that you're digging a bullet, a Civil War bullet. It's the idea that you're thinking about who touched that bullet last and what were the circumstances, how it got there. There you go. I believe there's another bullet. I think it's a Gardner. It is. All right, that's another Confederate bullet. The warfare was just brutal. A whole company of guys dug in behind a trench, and the generals would just send the boys in waves. And one wave would get mowed down, and the next wave would come in. Just thinking about the circumstances under which this bullet ended up in my hand today, thinking about what happened at this very piece of ground, that's what makes every bullet a smile for me, too. A few more feet, another signal that sounds like a bullet. Oh, yeah. Hard impact bullet. I've said before on this channel that I'd rather find a fired bullet than a dropped bullet. And I know a dropped bullet is prettier, but a bullet like that makes me wonder, what did it hit? What a fun day. I see it. I see it. You see it? Looks like a Gardner. No, that's a 3-ringer. Wow. I just dug a piece of horseshoe, and I dug a modern bullet casing, and it's a buck. I found several bucks, and of course, as we've said before, you never know whether a buck is out of a deer hunter's shotgun shell or from a Civil War bucking ball. You just don't know. This signal's sounding pretty good. Looky there. That's another fired bullet. I'm not sure I could ask for much better a day. It's maybe 68 degrees. Oh, that's a modern high-powered bullet, like a 22-250, something like that. I thought this sounded like a bullet, but now it sounds small. Modern. Kind of afraid to skip anything in here. Yeah, it says I'm right on it, too. There it is. Whatever it is, it's right there. No, it's a bullet. We're back into the bullets again. And that's another 3-ringer fired. Yep. I was not able to find the trench, but I've got a signal down here in the edge of the creek, so we're going to give that a shot. Shotgun shell. I've got something really deep in the swamp here. This may take a little while. Well, I've looked everywhere for a trench, and not only can I not find a trench, but when I got up into the woods, the signals just ran out. That giant hole down by the creek turned out to be a ghost signal. But I got a good signal here. If this is a bullet, it'll be the first one in the woods. It's taken a while, but I think we're back on the board. That looks like a Civil War bullet to me. What do you think? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a 3-ringer. It started out sounding good, and then it started sounding like a modern 22 shell or something. Now it's sounding very much like a bullet again. I missed that root. I ought to be able to get right to it. Well, I think I feel it. Yep. What is that? That's a gardener. That's another Confederate gardener. All right, so we're finding a couple of bullets in the woods here. Here's another one in the woods that sounds pretty good. I'm going to guess this is a bullet, and it's very deep. Looky there. Still in the dirt. Still in the dirt, Claude. This sounds good, like it could be a bullet, but it's also got some iron sounding signal in it. Sounded good, then it sounded bad, now it sounds good again. I think this mystery should be the last hole of the day. Wow, it's deep though. This is going to be the last hole of the day, good or bad. That's it right there, whatever it is. I don't know what that is. Now, what is that? Last hole of the day really is going to be a mystery. It looks like almost like it could have been a star. Huh. Well, I'm going to stick to my guns and say this is the last find of the day, whatever it is. Ah! You know, for me, in 2023, a good hunt is where you can go hunting and consistently find what you're looking for. Certainly doesn't even have to be back to back. But if you can hunt all day and every 15 to 30 minutes come up with something Civil War, to me, that's a good day. And that was the kind of day I had today. I thought it would be kind of fun today to talk about two items that I found in the field. One, a cartridge box snap, and another one was the tip of a bayonet scabbard. This is what we called a cartridge box finial, and this is the one I found today. Cartridge box finials were used where the flap of the leather flap of either a cartridge box or a percussion cap box was pushed over the finial, and that just held the flap down and in place. It closed the bag, so to speak. When it comes to cartridge box finials, it seems to be an infinite variety of finials. The one I found today that I'm holding in my hand here would probably be considered by most relic hunters to be Confederate, simply because it's built a little more crudely and it doesn't follow a preconceived design or shape. I've got several that I've found over the years, and each of these is a slightly different design. One is pretty tiny, and then there's one that's pretty large, and then there's a medium one, and there's a small one. But the point is, cartridge box finials can be of many designs. They all did the same thing, and they all served the same purpose, but there was not a whole lot of conformity or consistency in these things. You have to remember that both in the North and the South, the governments were using anybody that could work leather and put together a workable piece of equipment. When you find cartridge box finials, they can look very different. The other thing that I found was what I called a bayonet scabbard tip. This is the one I found today, and it's the very tip of the scabbard that went on the end of a bayonet. I brought this one out to show you. This is a complete bayonet scabbard tip. It consisted of that tip and also a brass kind of sleeve or drag or end that went on the end of a bayonet scabbard. And you can see even with these two, the finial is not exactly the same, but this would be considered a normal U.S. pattern bayonet scabbard tip complete. Unlike the cartridge box finials, sometimes you can find a scabbard tip and be almost certain who it was made by. This is a Confederate bayonet scabbard tip. And the first thing you'll notice about it is that while it has that same brass sleeve that went on the end, the finial is made out of lead. The Confederates used whatever material they had to construct the equipment they needed. And so if you ever find a scabbard tip or a scabbard end, and it's got a lead tip in it, you can be pretty sure that you've got a Confederate one in your hands. If that's 99% sure, this one's 100% sure. This is a bayonet scabbard end consisting of that sleeve and that tip. And like we said about the other Confederate scabbard tip, the tip is made of lead, again, an inferior material for anything but bullets, really. But the sleeve is made of tin. And you can see that because it's so obviously rusted and beginning to degrade and fall apart. This is almost certainly a Confederate scabbard tip. These aren't particularly remarkable finds, but there's something that you're likely to find if you do much hunting on Civil War campsites or Civil War battlefields. I hope you had a good time going with me today. I plan to go back to this particular permission pretty soon, and you'll be seeing some videos hopefully posted from there. I'd like to go back and see if I could find those trenches that young boy told me about. At any rate, we'll be going, and I hope you'll be watching. If you like what you saw today, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your likes. Even more, I appreciate when you comment on the videos. Tell me what you thought. Tell me what you'd like to see more of. Tell me what you'd like to see less of. I don't mind the critiques. I just enjoy relic hunting. I'm the Battlefield Walker. Until we meet again, be good and say your prayers.